The first thing the boy does after school is remind his mom to always wear this gemstone. Because his violent father was just released from prison early, and this stone is the only thing that can protect her. If she's ever in danger, all she has to do is crush it and I'll appear by her side instantly. I recently managed to get this response gem. My mage class also leveled up to D rank, and my 1 against 100 title upgraded to one-man army. Chilling also reached level 7. I reminded her not to forget my instructions and to keep everything that happened here a secret. Meanwhile, the teachers detected that the Spirit Jade Cavern seal had been broken. They rushed to the entrance but ran into Zilling on the way. They demanded to know why he was out here instead of protecting the other students. But with the situation so urgent, they had no time for details. Their priority was getting inside to ensure everyone was safe. Learning the seal was broken, Zilling let out a sinister grin. He sneered that this is what happens when you cross your seniors. But when the teachers got inside, they found me and Chilling completely unharmed. The broken seal on the cave? I'd already resealed it myself. Elsewhere, Zilling went to the vice captain of the Ultimate Guild. He boasted that his application was more than enough to earn him the final spot. But the vice captain just shook his head, explaining that the captain had already chosen someone. Zilling was thunderstruck, his face a mask of disbelief. He grabbed the vice captain's arm, shouting, "You said that spot was for the most valuable person. Are you saying my skills and connections aren't good enough?" As they argued, the captain approached. She explained that she'd already found the most valuable person, and the Ultimate Guild's captain was my teammate from my past life, Anlei, and the person she'd chosen was me. Meanwhile, at a food stall just off campus, Inspector Chen Jinwoo gave a stern warning to Bai Lingsheng. He told him to stop causing trouble. He'd pulled a lot of strings to get him out of jail early. He added that he had new intel. Hong Da-wei is coming back next Friday. He told Bai Lingsheng to watch his back. Slurping his noodles, Bai Lingsheng simply nodded and told him not to worry. Just then, Vice Captain Li Ang called. Chen Jinwoo scoffed, saying he had to get back to the station. He told Bai Lingsheng to head home soon too. Bai Lingsheng's expression turned menacing. "Oh, I'll be heading home soon, all right," he said darkly. But when he got home, he froze. The house was completely empty. In a blind rage, he started smashing furniture, swearing that when he found us, he would kill us. I'd given one half of the response gem to my mom, telling her to keep it on her at all times. I kept the other half myself. If she was ever in danger and crushed her piece, my half would sense it, and I'd be able to get to her instantly. Without it, I could never feel safe letting her go out alone. As long as I can remember, my mom has never owned any nice jewelry. She's never had any of the things a woman deserves. As her son, I can't help but feel guilty about that. My mom signed to me, telling me I shouldn't spend my weekends hovering over her. At my age, I should be out having fun with friends. I just smiled and shook my head, telling her not to worry. I don't need that. She quickly signed back, "How can you not need friends? Everyone needs someone important in their life." Of course I know I have important people and friends. I just don't know if I'll ever see them again in this life. At 11:58 p.m., I arrived at a wild D-rank cavern. It's a hidden dungeon I know of that only opens for a short time. It appears at midnight and vanishes at 1, so I don't have long. Right now, I need to focus on getting stronger. In my past life, I became a top-tier warrior, but I was still powerless to stop my comrades from dying before my very eyes. With that thought, I summoned my blade and charged. I killed the D13 rank Bloodflower in a single strike. I remembered my mom asking why I don't make friends. Her words are a thorn in my side. What good are friends? One day, on a whim, the gods could decide to wipe us all out. That's why I have to get stronger, faster, until I'm more powerful than anyone else. The kill notifications echo in my ears, but this experience is nowhere near enough. I have to fight with everything I have. Right now, I'm too weak. I can't even beat that man, let alone the prodigy who was a golden archer since childhood. So there are no shortcuts for me. I have to face every enemy head-on. A novice warrior tackles a D-rank hidden dungeon alone, but he never expected the dungeon to be guarded by 2 lords. Worse, while I'm locked in a tough battle, my recently released father has found my mom's new home. I have to clear this dungeon as fast as possible and rush home to protect my mom. Not long ago, I came to this hidden dungeon to level up. I channeled my elemental power and unleashed my ultimate skill, Pure Land. All the monsters blocking my path were sliced in half, and my battered body was instantly restored to perfect condition. But the dungeon entrance will close in just 20 minutes. I have to hurry and defeat the Lord. I cautiously proceeded deeper into the dungeon. Soon, I sensed a sudden surge of killing intent nearby. A monster was standing before a large tree. It was the D20 Lord Ye Wuming. In the blink of an eye, it vanished, then reappeared right in front of me. Reacting quickly, I drew my Kunwu blade. With a single slash, I cut off its incoming fist. But Ye Wuming's expression remained calm. Its self-heal skill activated, and a new arm grew back instantly. I was surprised. I didn't think a healing ability could be this powerful. Ye Wuming then plunged its arm into the ground. Countless green vines shot out from all around. Then the monsters I had killed were resurrected. I was confused. A D-rank lord shouldn't have the power of resurrection. As I was thinking, I felt a sharp pain in my stomach. I realized I'd been impaled by a spike that appeared out of nowhere. The one who ambushed me was the second lord, Si Wuming, Ye Wuming's twin brother. It's now 1 in the morning and the dungeon entrance has closed. Meanwhile, my mom is worried sick because I'm not home yet. No matter how many times she texts or calls, I don't answer. A bad feeling washed over her and she decided to go look for me. She guessed I'd gone to another dangerous place, just like last time. But unfortunately, my father, Bai Lingshang, somehow found out our new address. He walked through the heavy rain toward the high-end community. He's determined to leave me and my mom severely disabled tonight. During that time, I've already killed the twin lords 5 times, but they just keep getting back up instantly, and the resurrected monsters attack me relentlessly. Killing them doesn't give me any more EXP or items, it's just draining my stamina. My top priority now is to find the source of their endless resurrection. I used Flash to instantly appear before Si Wuming. My blade struck its vital point precisely, but its wound healed at a visible rate. It was Ye Wuming behind it, using its healing ability. I'd tried attacking it before, but even after I cut off its head, it healed instantly. This ability is too overpowered. It can resurrect dead monsters and heal its allies instantly. Even S-rank healers aren't this capable. What's empowering it? Or is there a place storing a massive amount of healing energy? While I was distracted, Si Wuming suddenly used Flash. In a flash, it was right beside me. I quickly used my parry skill to deflect the attack. My counter skill activated, reflecting all the physical damage back to the attacker. I never would have guessed that after one short exchange, it would learn my moves. At that moment, Si Wuming uttered 3 words, "You are strong." Then its wounds healed completely once again. But this time, I figured out what was behind it all. A confident smile appeared on my face. The large tree behind Si Wuming is their energy source. Realizing this, I immediately cut off Si Wuming's arm and charged forward. The Lord's healing powers come from this tree, which allows them to affect such a wide area. So, if I destroy these trees, I can finally kill them for good. Instantly, I swung my blade and sliced the large tree in half. Then, I switched my class to Wind Mage and immediately cast Ice. Si Wuming and Ye Wuming were instantly frozen into ice sculptures. Then, I switched back to Core Warrior. My blade pierced right through Ye Wuming's chest. Just as I thought, once Ye Wuming and the tree fell, they lost all their healing and resurrection abilities. I also received a high-grade item, the Bai Ling Herb, which instantly restores 50% stamina and heals most physical damage. Si Wuming broke free from the ice, but it no longer posed a threat to me. But to my complete surprise, Si Wuming opened its arms. Kill me! I'd never seen a lord do that before. Perhaps with its older brother dead, it no longer wished to live alone. I granted its wish with a single slash, fulfilling its final request. I obtained the high-grade material Poison Sting, a necessary component for crafting the S-rank flower-type weapon Venom Piercer. After this battle, my core warrior class reached level D15, and my wind mage class reached D13. Also, I've accumulated enough flower-type essence. A new class is about to awaken. Colorful flowers swirled around me. I wondered what color my new class would be. I never expected to awaken the blue quality flower summoner class. But for a summoner class, the stat requirements aren't that high. I wonder what its main skills are. I immediately opened the status panel. I couldn't believe how overpowered Flower Spirit Contract was. After defeating a flower-type monster, I can form a contract with its soul and make it my servant. I can currently contract 2 targets, and I just happened to defeat 2 flower-type lords. My passive skill, Flower Field, activated, and I could see the souls of Ye Wooming and Si Wooming. I immediately activated Flower Spirit Contract. I calmly said 2 words, "Stand up." And just like that, the 2 lords became my summoned beasts. To completely escape his abusive father's control, the boy single-handedly conquered all the hidden dungeons. He wanted to be strong enough to kill him the next time they met. He also specially wove a flower-type bracelet for his mother. If she were to face unavoidable danger, the 2 lords within the bracelet would immediately appear to protect her. It turns out I recently awakened a 3rd class, the flower-type summoner. Meanwhile, Bai Lingsheng had arrived at the neighborhood gate, but the sudden ringing of his phone stopped him in his tracks. After answering, he heard Chen Jinwu's voice telling Bai Lingsheng to attend Captain Hong's party. Upon hearing the news, Bai Lingsheng immediately turned and left the neighborhood, vowing to make the most of this opportunity. He would prepare a lavish gift for Captain Hong. He wouldn't waste this great chance to rejoin the guild. After hanging up, Bai Lingsheng's face was full of smiles. He sighed, "What a great day." He decided not to look for my mother and me at our new home tonight. Instead, he would go find his own sister to catch up. Just a few minutes later, my mom also arrived at the gate. She happened to see me entering the neighborhood after buying groceries. I quickly walked up to her and held the umbrella over her head. "Let's go home, Mom." Back home, I gave her the flower-type bracelet I had woven. I explained that I went out late to get her a belated Mother's Day gift. Even though Mom couldn't speak, she knew I'd been somewhere dangerous. After dinner, I lay in bed, lost in thought. I currently have 3 classes, a green-type warrior, a blue-type summoner, and a red-type mage. 2 of my combat classes have reached D rank. My newly awakened flower-type summoner is only E rank, but as its level increases, the number of contracts I can make will grow. After advancing, I can contract monsters of any element. But that's still not nearly enough. Bai Lingsheng went to jail on the 21st. It's been 10 days now. He'll be released in another 5 days. But knowing him, it's possible he'll bribe the guards to get out early. That's why I prepared these things in advance, just in case. The next morning, I arrived at another hidden dungeon. I know that hiding won't solve the problem. Before I start my training journey, I need to resolve this once and for all. In just a few hours, I cleared 4 hidden dungeons, but it's still not enough. I can't rest for a moment. I need to raise my class level to C rank as soon as possible. The next time I face Bai Lingsheng, I will be stronger than him. Just then, a system notification appeared. I had obtained the new title, Lone Wolf Hero. I also received the Key of the Hero item. After meeting certain conditions, I can unlock the Tower of the Hero. Monday morning arrived in a flash. Miss Huang announced that the final assessment scores were out. Qi Yin and I scored 1st and 2nd place in the entire school. My combat recording was also sent to headquarters for detailed analysis and was ultimately rated the highest in history. So, Qi Yin and I have qualified for the training journey. And because of my outstanding performance, I will also be granted an audience with the gods. This made many of my classmates incredibly envious. An audience with the gods is an honor that even divine officials might not receive. This was a completely unexpected surprise. I can't believe I'll get to meet them so soon. My best friend, Specs, was genuinely happy for me. I knew you were destined to shine." Meanwhile, in the dean's office, Dean Hong Long asked Hong Chongsheng, "Are you sure you don't want to go? Your dad rarely comes back. You could totally use the excuse of going to headquarters with him to join this trip." Hearing this, Hong Chongsheng immediately refused. He felt that since he only placed third and didn't qualify, he didn't deserve to go. He didn't want people to think he relied on his father for everything. Hearing that, Hong Long couldn't help but smile with satisfaction. He didn't expect Hong Sheng to have such integrity. He also hoped his father could see his growth. Just then, Hong Chongsheng asked Hong Long for a favor, to grant him access to the sealed D-rank dungeon on the back mountain. His reason was simple. He wanted to become stronger on his own. On the other side, in the principal's office, Zi Ling begged his uncle to let him go on the training journey. "I'm the only heir of the Zi family." Principal Zi Yunkang's expression turned serious. Of course he knew Zi Ling was the family's only bloodline, but he couldn't believe he would still act so rashly. During the combat test that day, how could you do such a thing? Powering up a monster to backstab your juniors? At these words, Zi Ling's expression suddenly turned to panic. Before he could explain, the principal slammed his fist on the desk. "Do you think the higher-ups are idiots? That they couldn't see through your clumsy trick? If I hadn't cover for you, do you think you could still stay at this school?" Hearing this, Zi Ling's legs began to tremble uncontrollably. He hurriedly knelt and admitted his mistake, promising it would never happen again. Seeing this, the principal coldly told him to stand up. He explained that Zi Ling's actions had drawn the higher-ups to me, making them suspect something was off. This is an invitation every student dreams of. Accepting it means your life is set for success. But I've repeatedly rejected the Ultimate Academy's invitation. This piqued the interest of my former teammate. She decided to personally recruit me as the leader. My recent power surge had already raised alarms with the higher-ups. Headmaster Zi Yanqing said my growth curve was too unnatural. So, the God Clan wants to meet with me personally. He also decided to let Zi Lin tag along on this training trip, but only if he behaves himself. Otherwise, he's on his own. Zi Lin beamed, thanking his dear uncle, the headmaster. He secretly planned to make this a trip I'd never forget. And that goes for An Lei, who rejected his invitation to the Ultimate Academy. He swore that one day he'd make her his. Meanwhile, I received my invitation from the Ultimate Academy. My classmates were green with envy. It's the most powerful group in the entire school. Joining them is a fast track into the Divine Guild. Its founder is the school's only golden assassin this year. Normally, students would kill for a chance to join. My best friend, Bullcut, was moved to tears. He was so proud to have such an amazing friend. I got up and took the invitation in my hand. Then, without hesitation, I threw it in the trash. My classmates couldn't understand why I'd refuse. Why would you throw away such a golden opportunity? I didn't respond, just said I had something to do and left. Bullcut stared at the invitation in the trash, feeling it was a waste. It was a chance he would never get in his lifetime. The quiet, bespectacled kid suddenly spoke up. "They just don't get Bai Yi. Don't you see? He has no intention of joining anyone's guild. The way he is now, he'll only be a leader." After nightfall, I went to the mountains behind the school alone. Hong Qiangsheng was already waiting at the dungeon entrance. He said he'd secured access to a D-rank dungeon. No one would be coming around this area at night. I nodded slightly, thinking a D-rank dungeon was too hard for him. We should probably start with an E-rank one. Hong Qiangsheng immediately shut me down, telling me to cut the crap. He swore he wouldn't hold me back when the fighting started. I'd promised to show him combat techniques to get stronger quickly, but my condition was that he get me access to the school's dungeons. I never expected him to get access to all the D-rank ones. Just then, Hong Qiangsheng was knocked down by a monster. I kindly asked if he needed a hand. He immediately told me to get lost, saying he could handle it himself. He then grabbed his dagger and charged the monster again. As I watched, I recalled how I got the hero's key by chance. It's the key to unlocking the hero's tower, but I need a B-rank profession to use it. I've nearly cleared out all the wild dungeons I can find. The school's dungeons are my only way to level up now. The higher your profession level, the more experience you need. After reaching D-rank, leveling up slows down a lot. But luckily, there are plenty of monsters, so the experience will be enough. For the next few days, Hong Qiangsheng and I grinded in D-rank dungeons. The Ultimate Academy kept sending invitations every day, but I still had no intention of accepting. After 3 days, Hong Chung Shang successfully reached D rank. He remarked that fighting in dungeons was way more fun than being babysat by his family's bodyguards. I finally upgraded my warrior class to C rank, my cloud mage to D19, and my flower summoner to D11. My current stats are more than enough to deal with Bai Lingsheng. And after reaching C rank, I also unlocked a brand new skill. Back at home, my mom gave me a knowing smile and gestured with her hands. She asked if I'd been on a date with a cute girl these past few days. I quickly waved my hands. No way, I'm just a middle schooler. Mom continued gesturing. Then why are you coming home so late? Messing around with your buddies? It's normal to like a girl. If there's someone you care about, you should be brave and go after her. Don't wait until you lose your chance to regret it. Hearing that, my expression turned serious. There was a girl I cared about. She was my teammate in my past life, Anne Lei. Even though she was usually carefree and clingy, she was always incredibly focused during missions. I could trust her with my life without a second thought. But every time we finished a mission, she'd demand a hug, making me blush and run away. It wasn't until we were all betrayed by that man with dreadlocks that I realized no matter how I felt, I'd never once hugged her. In my past life, I only met An Lei after my master saved me from a death cell. We met in the capital of the Shanghai Kingdom. I have no idea where she is now. I doubt I'll ever meet her again in this life. In this new life, I'm the only one with my old memories. Even if we did meet, we probably wouldn't have any connection. But what I didn't know was that we would be meeting very soon. The Ultimate Academy's vice leader messaged An Lei. Leader, Bai Yi still hasn't responded. Guess he's not interested in our group. An Lei saw the message after her shower and smiled. This middle schooler had greatly piqued her interest. She decided to deliver the invitation herself tomorrow. The young man is celebrating his first ever birthday. While his classmates give him their most precious gifts, the teammate I once fought and died with gives him a surprise attack that shocks the entire school. Turns out, An Lei had decided to deliver the invitations herself. The next morning, I woke up to a gift from my mom. She used sign language to wish me a happy birthday. I'd completely forgotten it was my birthday. My mom's gift was a scarf she'd knitted herself. To my dear son, the card read, may you always be happy and bravely live the life you choose. I was incredibly touched. Still, a scarf seemed odd for summertime. I asked Mom if she knew I was heading to the Holy Kingdom. Mom nodded and signed. The nights get very cold there. You have to take care of yourself. I'll be fine too. My heart skipped a beat. She knew everything I was up to and had been silently supporting me this whole time. Just then, my mom handed me a wad of cash, telling me to treat my best friends to dinner. I sighed, looking at the money. I don't really have any friends. When I got to school after breakfast, I was surprised to find an incredibly detailed figurine on my desk. I'm not into that stuff, so I was confused and didn't recognize the character. Bowlcut excitedly asked what I thought of his gift. He said it was his absolute favorite, but he was giving it to me for my birthday. The kid with glasses came over, saying a figurine was way too tacky. He boasted that his gift was much harder to find. When I looked down, I was stunned. It was an original copy of my favorite movie, Fatal Magic. In my past life, he and I used to sneak into the shed to watch banned old world movies. He quickly whispered for me to hide it so the teachers wouldn't find it. I quickly tucked the movie into my desk and thanked him. Just then, the class president, Chi Ling, walked over, smiling as she handed me her birthday gift. Bowlcut and Glasses Kid gasped when they saw it, amazed by her generosity. The gift was an A-rank mage weapon, an illusion gem. I have to admit, I was moved. But the gift was far too valuable, so I tried to give it back. Chi Ling just smiled and told me to keep it. She said if it weren't for me, she couldn't have gone on the training trip. She insisted it wasn't that precious, since her family had more, and besides, it would really help me out. Her words made me think. I really did need to get stronger, so I had no reason to refuse. She must have seen me using a low-level weapon when I switched classes. That's why she gave me the illusion gem. She's incredibly thoughtful. But what touched me the most was that they all remembered my birthday and put so much thought into their gifts. I had planned on leaving quietly without getting attached to anyone, but now I've thrown that idea away. These three are important to me now. Let's all get dinner tonight. My treat. Are you free? All three immediately shouted, yes. Bullcut said he'll pick the spot. Just then, I overheard some students. Why are high schoolers in the middle school wing? Looks like they're coming to our class. The whole floor was buzzing. Apparently, the leader of the ultimate team was coming to personally recruit me. At that, I stood up. Better to turn them down in person. As I stepped out of the classroom, all eyes were on me, including Zi Chen, the guy who tried to take me out. He couldn't figure out what was so special about me that the team leader would come in person. Just then, a surge of electricity shorted out the hallway lights. My eyes widened in shock. That golden electricity, it felt strangely familiar. A bolt of lightning shot through the crowd, racing toward me. I didn't bother dodging. I could tell it was a feint. I summoned my Kunwu blade, sensing the shift in the air. A moment later, another bolt of lightning shot at me from behind. I whipped my blade around to block the sneak attack. It happened so fast, no one could follow the movement. Then I heard a familiar female voice. Impressive reflexes. Looks like I chose the right person after all. I looked up at her, my eyes wide with disbelief. I never imagined the leader of the ultimate team would be Anlei, the woman I fought alongside in my past life. This girl was known throughout school as the strongest awakened, but when the boy first met her, he didn't hesitate to hug her. This made her think I'd agreed to join her school club, but I told her bluntly that joining a school club was pointless. I hoped that in the future she'd join the guild I was forming. You see, I had just discovered that An Li was the club leader. Memories of her from my past life instantly flooded my mind. This energetic and cheerful girl always managed to lighten the mood after every mission. Her outspoken personality often made me blush. Seeing me frozen in place, An Li spoke first. She explained that the Ultimate Club had sent me many invites, but I never responded. So she decided to come visit me in person today. Bullcut and Glasses Boy started whispering. If I reject her invitation to her face, it would be really awkward for her as the leader. An Li then held out her hand and began to introduce herself. But how could I not know who she was? I'd never accepted her hugs in my past life, but this time I didn't hesitate to hug her first. There was so much I wanted to say, but only a few words came out. An Li, long time no see. The sudden hug left An Li stunned. The once noisy hallway fell completely silent. All the students' eyes were fixed on An Li and me. Bullcut was dumbfounded, shocked that I'd just hug her in public. He complained, "Is this some kind of real-life romance between a younger guy and an older woman from different classes?" The class president, Qi Ling, stared, her jaw on the floor. She'd had a bit of a crush on me for a while, but she never imagined I'd be into older women. Glasses Boy quietly explained to Bullcut. An Li was originally in our grade, but she awakened in her first year. She skipped grades and entered high school early, so she's not actually older. Just then, An Li's body transformed into a flash of golden lightning. She then phased right through me in an instant. Does this hug mean you've accepted my invitation? An Li then explained that the Ultimate Club is fully funded by the school. They'll give me the best resources, and there are much faster ways to get stronger than doing school dungeons after class. We share the goal of getting stronger, and we might even get to fight side by side. I listened patiently to her introduction, but I still said I wouldn't join the Ultimate Club, because I wouldn't be staying at this school for long. Joining a school club is pointless. At this point, I took An Li's hand, claiming I'd be forming my own guild soon. Then we'll naturally have a chance to fight side by side. Just then, a member of the Ultimate Club ran over in a hurry. He informed An Li that Captain Hung had returned to school. The principal wanted the Ultimate Club to go greet him as a group. Hearing this, An Li nodded slightly and let go of my hand. Our training journey will bring us together again soon. We'll talk more then. Why did you say long time no see?" With that, An Li and the other club members went to greet Captain Hong. Her departure gave the students something new to talk about. They couldn't believe I'd rejected An Li's invitation to her face. I even invited her to join my own guild. They thought that as a minor, I couldn't possibly have the funds to start a new guild. Even more shocking was the fact that I had just hugged An Li. But An Li didn't seem to mind at all. The crowd's gossip didn't faze me in the slightest, because I had never imagined I would meet An Li like this. In the Guild of Gods, all member information was strictly confidential. We never pried into each other's pasts. So I never thought An Li and I would be at the same middle school. I almost missed this encounter because of it. Still, this was an unexpected birthday surprise. The father spent his life savings on a pile of extremely expensive magic crystals. He begged the captain to show mercy and let him rejoin the guild. But he didn't realize the man despised bribery above all else. He immediately declared that this scum would never be allowed back in the guild. Unable to control his emotions, the father was completely humiliated. He swore he would kill everyone who looked down on him. And the first person to feel his wrath was the mother who had never wronged him in any way. It turned out that not long ago, An Lei and I had a chance reunion. After school, I took Chi Yin and the others to a barbecue place. Four Eyes and Bowl Cut were seriously debating the best way to eat barbecue. Chi Yin then asked if I was serious about starting a guild. She wondered if I'd be staying here long or if I planned to leave after high school. I sipped my drink and gave a slight nod. I do plan on staying in St. Hay country after my training journey. My answer left the three of them in shock. They wondered if I was planning to drop out and start a business. I explained that I just wanted to continue my studies there. That's why I need to get into the academy every student dreams of, the Divine Arms Academy of St. Hay country. Meanwhile, at the Kaiban Hotel, a tall man stepped out of a sports car. Li Ang, the vice captain of the inspectorate, quickly bowed in respect. This man was none other than Hong Bing, a captain of the Gods Guild. Inside the hotel, all the dignitaries were engaged in lively conversation. But one person in the crowd made Li Ang's eyes flash with confusion. He never expected to see Bai Lingsheng, who was supposed to be locked up for 15 days, at this party. Li Ang immediately pulled Chen Jinwu aside, demanding to know why Bai Lingsheng was released early. Chen Jinwu rubbed his fingers together and explained that Bai Lingsheng paid double the bail. And besides, the captain himself had approved it. Vice Captain, you should just turn a blind eye to this. Hearing this, Li Ang gritted his teeth in anger. He couldn't believe he was surrounded by such scumbags. He pointed at Bai Lingsheng and asked Chen Jinwu why he'd bring him to Captain Hong's party. Chen Jinwu leaned in and whispered, "You know how it is. He was kicked out of the guild for a minor mistake. This is a rare opportunity, and he wanted to try his luck again. He brought everything he owns just for a chance to get back in. We're just doing him a small favor. It's no big deal." Just as he finished speaking, the magic crystals in Bai Lingsheng's arms were thrown to the ground. Hong Bing's expression turned incredibly dark. He sternly demanded to know who let Bai Lingsheng in. This is a private event for the Gods Guild. What if some stray dog wanders in and leaks our secrets? At his words, Bai Lingsheng's hands began to tremble uncontrollably. The nervous man was about to explain when Hong Bing grabbed him by the collar. "What gives you the right to try and buy your way in with me? Take this useless junk and get out of my sight. From this day on, no one is to let this scum back into the guild. Anyone who disobeys will be kicked out immediately." Those words, like a sharp sword, shattered Bai Lingsheng's last shred of hope. But he never once thought he was in the wrong. He believed fate had been unfair, preventing him from living the life he deserved. An endless rage consumed him, blurring the lines between right and wrong. He would kill anyone who dared to look down on him. How dare some worthless captain humiliate him like this? The people who abandoned and insulted him, they would all become his targets for revenge. A short while later, Bai Lingsheng arrived at my mother's apartment complex. Just then, my mother was returning from grocery shopping. Unaware of the danger, I was still eating at the barbecue place. A group of people entering the restaurant caught my eye. Judging by the emblems on their clothes, it was easy to tell they were members of the Gods Guild. Bowlcut recognized them too and whispered that if we got into the academy, we'd be colleagues with people like them. He sighed, lamenting that this meal felt like a farewell dinner. Chi Yin immediately shot back, saying it didn't have to be. She was going to study hard and get in too. Four Eyes quickly tried to lighten the mood, saying they could worry about that later. Today was Bai Yi's birthday after all. Let's toast to Bai Yi's birthday and a bright future. But my mind wasn't on their conversation at all. I suddenly realized that the day had gone a little too smoothly. I couldn't shake this strange feeling that something was off, but I just couldn't pinpoint what I was missing. At that same moment, my mother's hands trembled as she clutched the response jade on her chest. Her eyes were wide with terror as she watched Bai Lingsheng approach. A terrifying, murderous aura erupted from Bai Lingsheng's entire body. "You wench, you've been living quite well behind my back, haven't you? Did you forget where your home is?" Hearing his voice, my mother started backing away. A deep-seated fear made her entire body tremble. But after everything that had gone wrong, Bai Lingsheng wasn't to back down now. The coward who only preyed on the weak would unleash his rage on the one person who had never wronged him.